Hey man, it's Sledge, and this is episode 2 of your 15 mics. I'm sorry, I apologize for the long wait. I got in trouble, but now I'm not in trouble, so I can keep doing this. Check it out. This is episode number 2 of your 15 mics. As always, I'm your host, Sledge, aka at Mr. Gotta Get Ready on Twitter. For you first time listeners, here's how the show works. I ask my guests 15 questions. They give me 15 answers. We'll talk about things here and there. Some of these guests I know already, some of them I don't know. But that's the whole purpose of this entire podcast, to get to know each other, to speak, to not be strangers, to not be a crutch to social engineering and media of the like. So that's how it goes. I've been asked numerous times, why are we doing this? Why are you doing this? Because everybody has a voice, and I want to know what they think about life. They've already heard what I've thought about life with my numerous video blogs, so I want to know about everybody else in the world. Maybe we'll make friends. Maybe we'll understand each other a little bit more. Who knows? But with that said, my guest tonight will be the always lovely, always fantastic host of the wonderful world of Carminelitta, Miss Carminelitta. How are you today?
I'm very well, thank you. How are you?
Well, I'm very well. Thank you. So, it's been a while. It's been a while since we've actually Skyped or talked or anything like that. We've been going back and forth with our busy lives. I understand that you've been traveling, and I've been traveling as well. I've been running away from punishment as best I can. So, I think we both had two different agendas, but nevertheless staying busy. But it's good to have you back in conversation, and it's also great to be on the show. Here we go. Are you ready to do this?
Yes.
Okay, because you could always get out if you want, but we're already in. All right, let's do this. So, the first question for me to you is this. Lots of people have vices. Do you have one? And if so, why do you feel that it is your vice per se?
I don't think I have vices. I don't know, because vice sounds really negative to me, and I'm trying not to see things negatively. So I don't think. In terms of general vices, like drinking or drugs or gambling or stuff like that, I don't really do that. No, I think I'm kind of viceless.
Well, that's good. I think, I don't know. I guess some of the people that I've talked about when it came to vices, smokers always have some kind of a justification. Hey, we're going to die anyway. I really need to smoke. I really need to drink coffee. I really need to drink alcohol. I really need to do this. I don't know. It's always been a little bit weird to me to really hear somebody say that they absolutely need something when in truth they're probably better off without it. But
yeah, especially when it comes to smoking. Drinking, if you don't drink too much, it's fine, but smoking, I don't really see the point. But to reach their own, I guess.
Yeah. All right then. Question number 2: if you could do anything you wanted right now, what would it be?
I'm kind of doing that already. I would, like right now, I would travel to the States to see some people, which is not to say I won't do it because I will do it soon.
Mm-hmm.
But if I could do like right this minute, that's what I would do.
That's good. Yeah, you know. Would Chicago happen to be one of those?
No, I went there in May last year. Oh, actually, it's been a year already. For my birthday, it was really great. It was actually the second time I was there. The first time was my first like big international trip, and I loved it. The second time I loved it as well. But I really need to go to different places because I've been to the States quite a few times now, but I always end up in the same places. Especially New York, because I've been there 4 times already. I'm going back in September, so I really want to explore new places, including the West Coast, finally. So hopefully that's going to happen like in the summer, so in a few months now.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, Chicago, not yet. I'll be back definitely because I love this place, but not this year, probably not.
Yeah, you don't want to overdo trips when you can take the opportunity to go elsewhere. I can understand that. But for the listeners out there, one of the inside jokes myself and Carminelitta have is this. Her accent is wonderful. I smile, I get joy out of hearing her voice because it's so lovely. So when she says Chicago, it actually sounds
Sometimes.
like, sometimes, okay. Sometimes it sounds like Chicago. And, as anybody out there, I think sometimes you want to correct them, but then sometimes you're like, oh, it's sweet. It sounds nice because nobody else in the world says it like this. But, and you let it go. And you let it go. So that's lovely. That's great. Question number 3. What is your favorite memory if you have one?
Wow, I have a lot. Some of them I can't really share right now, but wow, favorite memory. Maybe not my favorite memory, but something that really was really amazing beyond words. So it's a bit weird to actually try to put it into words. But I went to Barcelona about 2 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And I visited the Sagrada Familia, which is, for those who don't know, a church that was built by Gaudi, who was an amazing architect, and his work is present everywhere in Barcelona.
Yeah.
And he started it like centuries ago, and it's still in the works. And you have many different types of architecture, depending on which side you are, and inside is just incredible. It's probably the most beautiful thing I've ever seen. And while I was in there, something happened that I can't put into words, but it was just overwhelming, but in a good way. It was really a kind of like spiritual, emotional experience. And it was really, really amazing. So that was really the first time I was touched like this in this kind of place, because I'm not really religious like that, and I don't really go to churches like that.
Mm-hmm.
But this specific place had something different, and was really, really incredible.
That's great. I've always, Barcelona is one of those places that's still on my list to go to.
It's amazing.
Yeah, I'm gonna go one day. I went to Rota. I did. I went so many years ago, and some of my viewers out there, I say viewers, no more blogging. Some of my listeners out there, they know all about me and my Rota experience, about how the nasty looking hot dog pretty much took out half of the guys that I was there with. So Barcelona is definitely something that I'm strongly considering actually this year, because it's come across the desk a few times, and I'm in a position to actually do something about it more often.
Yeah, and I mean, traveling within Europe is really cheap usually, so you can do that easily.
All right. Number 4, is there anything in your life that you feel like you haven't quite got over yet?
I'm trying not to get too personal on this one, because there's one thing, but that's way too personal. I would say maybe it's not the kind of answer you were looking for, but never mind. It's not really something I can't get over. No, can't get what? Can't get. Yeah, it's more like something I need to work on personally.
Okay.
And it's a completely different answer, but I don't really want to answer your original question. Anyway, I think it's just my self-esteem and self-confidence.
Mm-hmm.
So it's, as I said, completely different from your question. But just, becoming more confident in what I can do and who I can be. Because even though I'm doing much better than I used to, I still have a lot of work in that area. So, really realizing that I can be amazing and do amazing things, even though I'm doing some, but I could do so much more. So, working on that.
Well, that's a good enough answer for me. I think it should be good enough for everyone else listening. Because I don't want you or anybody else to feel like you have to strictly, completely answer the question. I mean, we see it all the time with individuals who, hey, did you go out last night with this individual? Well, I went out and I was stressed and I mean, it happens. These are your questions. You can answer them any way that you want. If you feel like you don't want to even touch on that subject, next question. I'm fine with that.
Yeah, because I mean that was a really obvious answer, but it's not really therapy session right now. So,
right. Yeah.
Keep that for myself for now.
All right. Number 5. What does your life say about you?
I love to travel. What does it say about me? Well, I guess it relates to my previous answer. I'm doing quite a few amazing things, but I could do more. So sometimes I kind of stop myself from doing things, not really consciously, but I think what it says is that I have potential to do incredible things, but I don't always do them because I'm kind of scared sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
So, I guess that's the answer. This time, the right answer to the right question.
Well, let's also not forget about, your music. You are probably one of very few people I actually have ever met in the world that, some people say, hey, look, I love music, I'm this, but I mean, when we met in person, this was who you were. This tells so much about you and the type of music that you listen to and the types of things that you play on your podcast. I mean, to me, that just speaks volumes. Along the lines of the poetry that you wrote as well. But I think if anything,
sometimes I don't even put myself out there. So I definitely need to work on that. But music is obviously very, very important in my life. And I actually just finished, like literally 5 minutes before we did this interview, uploading and posting the podcast for today's show, which was the 50th episode on Bonfire Radio.
All right.
So, on days like these where I'm like, shit, 50 is a lot.
It is.
And knowing that before being on that specific radio station, I've been doing podcasts for like 5 years or something.
Mm-hmm.
So, being on this kind of day where you realize how far you've come, it's quite amazing. So music is definitely a great part of my life. So
that is great.
Thanks for reminding me about that.
You're welcome. That's what friends are for. All right, number 6. On a scale of 1 to 10, how great are your friends? 12. All right.
Yeah, and that's something I realize more and more. People say you are like, I think like something like the 5 people who surround you are I don't remember exactly what it says, but basically, like, you are influenced the most by people around you. And I realized that the people that I can call friends now really help me be the person I'm supposed to be. The conversations we have, the laugh, everything we do and share is a way for me to grow and evolve. So I'm really grateful for all those people in my life. And I think it's really important to surround yourself with people who love you and appreciate you and trust you and don't sugarcoat stuff for you, because that's one thing as well that I really appreciate, when people are honest. Not because, if you ask them a question, if you ask them for advice, they're not going to say what you want to hear. They're going to tell you what's good for you.
Yeah.
So that's the kind of people I have, and that's quite wonderful. So yeah, shouts out to all my friends.
That's a great answer.
Thanks.
All right, number 7 is, what is something you wish everyone knew about you already?
That I'm amazing. No, something that is something that I don't really broadcast that much, and you mentioned it earlier about the writing. I actually need to go back to writing, but a lot of people don't actually know I'm a writer, and I have 2 mini books out, and I collaborate with artists. So yeah, I wish more people knew that, because that's not only a way for me to express myself, but also a way to inspire people. So I need to work on that as well, and hopefully more people do know about it in the near future.
Yeah. That's actually how you and I met, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, it was through Prosthetic Intelligence.
Yeah.
Shouts out to them. Because I think Ezra posted something on Twitter or whatever, and you were connected to him, and then you listened to something. Yeah, because it was featured on their EP, The Sounds and Wonders.
Yeah.
So you probably posted the link, and you listened, and you're like, oh shit, she sounds good. And then, we connected like that.
Wonderful EP, by the way. It was wonderful. I was actually surprised that him at that level, he was able to, really bring everything together.
And it's really young.
Yeah.
I mean, really? Are you 20-something? Like, what? So, yeah, it's great. Actually, I don't know if they're still doing music. I haven't heard of them in a while. But, definitely a great album.
Yeah, I think they blocked me now. I'm not sure what happened there.
Oops.
Well, you know me. I tend to not have a filter on any social media that I use. So maybe a little bit of my personality was a bit too much for their Twitter. I don't know. Maybe it's an accident. Maybe they meant to block somebody else. But it will not alter the fact that I think they are great and they put out great projects.
Yeah, definitely.
All right. Question number 8 is, what is your favorite song at the moment?
Oh, that's a difficult one. My favorite song. I don't know. I listen to so much music. I really don't know. I'm gonna have to improvise. Okay, maybe not my favorite song at the moment. Once again, I'm not gonna answer that question straightforwardly. One song that is really, really beautiful and powerful to me is by Liana Havas, who is an amazing singer from London. This song is called Lost and Found. And what's really interesting about it is that she wrote it about a specific subject. Like, it's part of a story, something happened, and she wrote a song.
Yeah.
And she also did a video for this track. And listening to the song for the first time and watching the video made me relate to it immediately, because I thought she was writing about something else that actually happened to me. And even to this day, even though now I know that it's not about the same subject, I'm like, I don't care. I know she actually meant whatever. But that is really amazing because it reminded me how music and art in general it's like a way for the artists to express themselves. But then the listeners or the viewers or the readers or whatever are gonna take whatever they can from it. So even though her initial message was not about the same thing that I went through, because of the words she used and the emotions she put in a song, I could actually relate to it as if she wrote about what happened to me.
Right.
So it's a song that every time I listen to it, even now, because it came out a few years ago, to this day, like every time I listen to it, I'm just like amazed. It's so beautiful and emotional, and obviously reminds me of a very difficult experience, but because it's so beautiful, it also reminds me that going through something very difficult can actually create something beautiful.
Right.
So it's a very, very strong, I mean, this is something that I really feel strongly about, as you can hear.
Yeah, I can.
That would be a very important song for me.
And it's so great that you touched on that point. Our art, our music, poetry, whatever media we use, it speaks volumes to who we are. But at the same time, the listener, the person really engaged in that media, it can mean so many different things. And I think to really resonate and touch someone on that level is just a marvelous thing. Because for me, I went through probably some of my worst poetry ever, from late 2010 all the way up until maybe early 2012, mainly because I couldn't write a single poem that did not hurt me, And I said, I got to put it on paper. I got to recite it. I got to run this into the ground. And, for me, being who I am, my personality, a lot of people don't like when I'm serious. It's supposed to be, hey, Sledge, tell us another form party. Hey, look, I've read MySpace until MySpace was extinct, okay? I'm not reading that shit anymore. I'm done with it. It's past my life. I don't want to even think about that poem right now. I even wrote Facebook, and people are still talking to me about, hey, go back to MySpace. You remember way back in 2000? And, I'm not gonna get into it. I'm getting upset already just thinking about it. But just to be able to touch somebody, on a different level, because you may be past it, but for them hearing you speak on that subject, it may help them, get through their situation. Or really, maybe get some reciprocity or some clarity on their current situation as well.
Indeed, yeah.
Question number 9. Now, this one may be a little bit tough for you, but I'm going to ask it anyway because that's the fun.
I'm scared.
All right. When it comes to dating...
Oh, shit.
What is something that you feel the opposite sex has to know about women?
Okay. I'm obviously not an expert, as you know. Okay, I'm gonna do this one playfully.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what I do. I think men should know, and they probably do already, that women like sex too.
Yeah.
Probably more than they do sometimes. And that brings me to a conversation I had actually recently with a guy who was saying that, the stereotype is always that, guys, all they think is about sex and all they want to do is, have sex with you. They don't really care about feelings or whatever, or relationships. And I was like, that is not actually true. Yeah. And women are actually more demanding in that area. So, yeah. That would be my playful answer, because obviously I can't give a serious one. But yeah, that's what I have to say about that.
It's about as serious as you can get, when it comes to dating.
Yeah.
I just want to touch on it just a tad because I've said this numerous times to those around me. The game is foxed up, okay? It's foxed up because what tends to happen with guys, they're afraid to be honest. They're afraid to just flat out tell their intentions from the beginning, in hopes that, oh man, maybe I'll have something physical with her if I sit here and lie and say, well, yeah, I would love to have something serious. That's all I'm looking for. And then push comes to shove, maybe a round or two, and they're all the way out of the picture. When, from the beginning you could have said, hey, all I want is the physical right now. Relationships are messy, and it would have been okay. Keep in mind that if somebody is going to be, engaged with you on a physical nature, nothing's going to get in the way of that. If they want to do it, they're going to do it. Whether you're looking for one thing or another, So, listeners out there that just happen to be men, keep that in mind while you're out there parlaying at the bars, looking for fanciful women, as I like to say. I read that in a book last week, so I wanted a chance to use it.
I mean, if they're at the bar pretending to be looking for a relationship, I think there's something wrong with them and with the girls. Like, seriously.
But this is the world we live in,
Yeah, but I definitely agree with you. Honesty is really important, and that's something that's more and more important for me as I grow older, because I'm not that young anymore. I don't really care about bullshit anymore.
Yeah.
So if you're not honest about what you want, it's not gonna work.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
Tell it like it is. Please do that. All right, number 10. What was the last experience that made you a stronger person?
Well, I guess maybe my recent move to South Africa, which is about 2 months ago. I guess it's a great way to realize that I'm actually stronger and more capable than I thought I would be, because I have a tendency to get comfortable in certain situations, knowing that I'm not actually learning anything or growing, but because it's comfortable, that's what I know, I don't feel like doing anything else. But then I realized that, I'm just stuck. Maybe comfortable, but I'm actually stuck. So making this move was a way to get out of the so-called comfort zone and realize that I can do it. It's possible, and I've been here for about 2 months now. I have 1 more month to go, and after that I don't really know where I'm going. I mean, I'm going back to France for a bit. I'm going to be in Amsterdam for a week, but then I don't really know. But this move was also the start of hopefully kind of full-time travel life. So I think that this decision to make the move actually triggered something that was in me, but I couldn't really say it because I was so stuck and scared. And I think this is the first step. But then as I keep moving around and maybe move to different places, I'm becoming more and more confident and realize that I can actually do anything.
It is true. You can. And I think people forget, just how much power they have, to really just branch out. And I mean, we in so many things, we have to go out and branch out on those things. Maybe it's a relationship, maybe it's engagement or marriage or moving in with somebody. There's big steps that we take in our lives where we feel like, do we have to do it? Maybe not right at the moment, but that's the difference between you being complacent and not growing and still feeling like you're not going anywhere anytime fast, and really just stepping out in that unknown and really hoping for the best, hoping to not drown, hoping to survive it long enough to really enjoy where you're going.
Yeah, and I mean, there's something also that, when you actually decide to take a step, it's things actually fall into place.
Right.
And this can't happen until you actually take the first step. So you're kind of, stepping on faith or whatever you call it. But then, because you actually took the decision, you put the wheels in motion, and things will actually happen because you took this first step. Mm-hmm. So I think that's important as well, to realize that nothing can really happen until you're ready and being active about something, instead of just thinking and planning and wondering what could happen if blah blah blah. Nothing is going to happen until you take action.
Right. So true. So true. All right. Question number 11 is, how do you feel right now? And I ask this question because so often it's pretty much ingrained in certain individuals to just ask, hey, how you doing? They don't really care. They're just getting it out of the way to seem nice enough to, go on with whatever they feel like talking about. But how do you feel? How do you feel right now?
I feel great. What I just said, like this move here, and knowing that other trips and moves await, it's really motivating and inspiring, even though I don't really know what I'm gonna do, where I'm gonna be. As I said, I know that as soon as I take the decision, things are gonna, fall into place. Mm-hmm. So I feel, confident and happy. So, thanks for asking.
You are very welcome. So sincere. Question number 12. What is one of the scariest things you've ever done in your life? Kind of touching on what we've already been talking about, huh?
Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna go into a territory I didn't really want to go into, but yeah, you know me. Yeah. So, and I guess it's important, and it's not like it's a secret or anything. I mean, I talked about that on my blog, so it's very, very public. Mm. Even though I'm not sharing any details. But anyway, so I was a victim of sexual abuse by my father, and that's all I'm gonna say about that. But the scariest thing was to grow out of it and realize I'm getting out of the victim mindset, because it's also related to what I was talking about earlier, about being comfortable. In a very twisted, horrible way, playing the victim is actually in a way comfortable, because that's all you know, and you're actually perpetrating the, like, when something happens to you, you can react in different ways, but if you see the person doing something to you as like the person that's guilty, you're logically the victim, because you experienced something that was negative and you were weak and blah blah blah. So they make you a victim, but you don't have to stay a victim. But because it's, as I was saying earlier, all you know, you don't really have any other point of reference. And because you don't really talk about it to anyone, you don't know that there's actually something else out there. So it took me years, like decades, and that's the answer to your second or third question. So full circle. But yeah, I'm still not completely over it. But that's something also that I learned, is that it's something that will be with you until the day you die. There's no way you can escape that, because it's just there. It happened. There's no way you can make it not happen. Right. So it's a daily struggle, but that's like, you need to realize that you need to stop seeing yourself as a victim,
Yeah.
because that you are so much more than it. Like, you are beautiful and powerful, and you can inspire other people. So that was very important, but that was scary because, as I was saying, I didn't know that I could actually be something else. So
Right.
realizing that all these years I spent being and seeing myself as a victim had to stop.
Mm-hmm.
Like, in a way, I was like, okay, maybe there's something better on the other side, but it's, yeah, scary because I don't know. Maybe it's going to be worse, or I don't know. So, and in a more literal way, the actual trial, because I sued my father, the actual trial was really super scary
Mm-hmm.
and difficult. And I guess it's like, in fairy tales, like, you have, this really big trial you have to go through to grow up or whatever. This was literally like this. Like, it was a metaphor for life. Like, seriously, I was like, what is going on? But it was really, really difficult physically because I was tired. It was like long days. I couldn't really sleep at night. Emotionally, psychologically, it was like really, literally a trial. So it was really scary, but as I went through it and when I was done with it, I was like, okay, I made it. So
Yeah.
I'm strong enough, and now I can move forward and be amazing. So, yeah.
And I'm really glad you shared that, because in all of that there were steps, and there were steps. I'm sure I've never been in a situation like that, but from what I would imagine, there are steps that you would have to take to really try to be stronger, try to get through that traumatic experience. And some people take the step here and there, and then they fall back or whatever. But I'm really glad that you were able to get through that. And you may still be dealing with it now, but I'm happy to know that you're further along now than you were way back when.
Yeah, because we started talking way before the actual trial. So, yeah, I'm way ahead from where I used to be, definitely.
Well, I appreciate you sharing that, and I'm sure my listeners are going to appreciate it as well. Maybe.
Yeah, and that's something also that's very important that I learned. And for a very long time I didn't want to talk about it.
Right.
But I realized it's really important to talk about it, to show other people that you can actually survive and thrive, but you need to actually talk to other people as well. You need to talk to whoever, like the police or your shrink or your family, your friends, whoever. But it's important to talk about it. So I think, me as a person who went through it, talking about it, I may open people's eyes that, people who went through it but couldn't talk about it, and maybe they can reach out to people they trust, or someone that can help them as well in the way that nobody helped me. But also, I mean, reading about other people's story who went to the same thing, I realized how much we have in common. So that's also something that's important.
Yeah.
Realizing that you are not alone, and that's something as well that you don't know because I know growing up, I really thought I was, special, and that was horrible, but no one could understand me. But as I grew up and talked to more and more women, unfortunately, it is far from being special, and so many women actually go through this kind of experience, whether it's like sexual abuse, domestic violence, or whatever. It is so prevalent, and it's horrible, but you need to realize that you are not alone, and you can talk to other people, and other people can actually understand you. And that's something that was really important for me to realize, because for the longest I was like, yeah, no one can understand me because I'm the only one who went through this, and they would never imagine what happened. But actually, even my best friend, and I'm like, oh shit. So yeah, that's why I decided to actually talk about it publicly. So yeah.
Great. That is really great. I I can't touch it. I think we'll leave it at that. You said it's so much better than I could even address it. So, question number 13. What do you think people worry about that they shouldn't worry about?
What people think about them?
Okay.
That's something else as well I've been going through. I think, what people think about you tells something about them.
Yeah.
Not about you. So, and also you can't please everyone. So if you start worrying about who are X, Y, Z, the American way, think about you can't move forward because you're gonna be like, oh, but if I do this, then they're gonna think I'm not worthy or I'm stupid or whatever. So no, just do whatever you want to do, and that doesn't mean like don't give a shit about what people say, but like your friends and your family, okay, but everyone else, whatever they think is whatever they think. It doesn't change anything about who you are and what you do and where you're going. So just chill and don't listen to naysayers.
Beautiful answer.
Thank you.
All right. Let me see here. Question number 14. What's the biggest personal change you've made recently?
Well, I guess moving to South Africa.
Yeah.
Quitting my job again and taking the plunge, doing this freelance thing, even though I'm not working nearly as much as I should or thought I would. But yeah, definitely living the 9 to 5 environment, even though it was more like 5:30 p.m. to 2 in the morning. But yeah, living, the traditional office. Well, it wasn't really a traditional job, but like the traditional employee setup where I had to go to work every day. I was spending 40 hours in an office, being miserable, like not all the time, but just sometimes waking up and being like, what am I doing with my life? That's not what I want to do.
Yeah.
So yeah, doing that, moving literally out of there and coming back to a place I love and becoming hopefully a full-time traveler for a bit.
Yeah. Why not? If it'll make you happy.
Yeah, definitely.
All right. The final question. The bonus, no, whatever, is question number 15. If you knew...
That's an extra one.
If you knew you would die tomorrow, would you feel cheated about your life?
No, because if it's supposed to happen tomorrow, it's supposed to happen tomorrow. And yeah, I guess I'm gonna chill on the really deep answers. But yeah, I mean that's also something people need to realize, and I know it's not easy, and it's definitely not easy for me. But because quite a few people I know passed away in the past year or so. That's something I was reminded of, and it's really sad that people, me included, are actually reminded of these things when people they love pass away.
Yeah.
But you never know. You could literally die in the next 5 minutes. So it's important but difficult at the same time. I don't want to be preachy because I know it's difficult for me, but I think it's important to remind yourself that you can die any moment, and also something that people want to forget, and I know I definitely I'm part of this group. You are gonna die.
Yeah, you're gonna do it.
There is no way around that. So as difficult as it is to accept this truth, just use it as a way to make the most of your life, because that's the only thing that you are sure of. Every other thing you never know, but this is for sure. So that, and the fact that it can happen anytime, should really motivate you to do whatever you want to do. If you want to quit your job because you're tired, just do it. Well, don't do it like without planning or anything, but just work towards something that you really want to do.
Yeah.
Because ultimately, that's all you're gonna leave to people, so inspire people, give them something to think about, to laugh about, to smile about, to be happy about, whatever, but just do something that you think is important.
Yeah, I agree wholeheartedly. It made me laugh the way you said it. Look, you need to understand, you're gonna die, all right? You are going to die.
I didn't want to sound so blunt, but ultimately the truth is kind of blunt. So sorry if I scared some of you, but yeah, sorry for the reality check.
Yeah.
But it is what it is.
Well, you have an accent, so maybe it doesn't sound as bad to, you know.
Well, apparently everything I say sounds really sexy and sensual, so you never know.
Marvelous. I think it's marvelous. All right, well, that's it for the questions. If there's anything else that you want to talk about, random jargon or what have you, we can. Or, we can use this as a stopping platform and move on with the rest of our lives before we die.
I really hope I didn't traumatize anyone. I just wanted to say thank you. It's been a pleasure. And I guess it was kind of therapy for me as well. Like everything I talked about, maybe there was things I needed to hear, even though I'm the one saying it, but maybe I needed to be reminded of some things, and hopefully the listeners can use some of my words to in their lives. Yeah. So thank you for this opportunity. It's always a pleasure to catch up with you too.
Oh yes.
So I think that's it.
well, thank you. Not again for the catching up part, but also, you've shared some things in the podcast that, I really didn't think about. Maybe we talked about it once upon a time. We've been friends for years. So maybe in the earlier times when I was still involved with alcohol and such, you might have told me then. But, to really hear your answers, gives me more of an insight of who you are and really how strong of a person you are and who you've come to be over the years. Because again, that timeline from when we first met, started talking, all the way up to now, I think we're both completely different people now, because our events, our life events, have made us, for lack of a better word, stronger. Mm-hmm. So I definitely appreciate that from you as well.
Well, thank you.
You're quite welcome. All right, well, I think this is a great stopping point. We got a great conversation out of you, and I'm pretty sure the listeners out there are going to be super happy to really sit down and listen to a female guest for the first time and gain her perspective and see how she feels about things. So again, I think everybody got some victory out of this, and we're all going to die someday. And that maybe we should take the time to listen to this podcast before we do, or not. Maybe we should go do something else, because it can happen. It can happen in the dark or in sunlight. Who knows?
If people hear those words, they listen to it. So
congratulations.
And,
Well, again, thank you very much. Listeners out there, I will give you guys the link to check out her wonderful, wonderful World of Carminelitta podcast that she does. And again, today marks the 50th episode, right?
Yeah.
So you guys may, check it out. Start with 50 if you want. Go all the way back to the first one. Either way, I'm pretty sure she's going to appreciate it. So be sure to check that out. Be sure to get yourself a t-shirt. I got one. It's a little bit small now because I think I washed it in cold water on accident, but whatever. I got it. It's always funny seeing my belly button in a, small shirt, but it is what it is.
Oh,
This
Wow, it didn't really shrink.
Yeah,
Well, I guess we need a new one.
Yeah, which is perfectly fine. Which is perfectly fine. The first one I bought, I had hair, and now I don't. So maybe, some reverse Zen or something will allow me to keep this shirt and pass it on some fantastic chi or something. But as always, guys, I'm on Twitter. Follow me at Mr. Gotta Get Ready, because I always have to get ready. That's MRGOTTAGETREADY. I'm pretty sure you all know how to spell. If not, I'm going to lay it out to you all in the link anyway. So, on behalf of the lovely Carminelitta, the great city of Chicago, and myself, this is your 15 mics. Thank you for listening. Go out and have a fantastic day or night. Goodbye.